says will give the US access to the island. Now, Denmark calls the situation serious. Greenland says it is not up for sale, and Europe is worried about what this means for NATO and global trust. Here's the full story. Take a look.
The White House posts an AI-generated image of President Donald Trump with a penguin and Greenland in the background. It goes instantly viral. The reason for the mockery is simple. Penguins do not live in Greenland. They live in the southern hemisphere, so the image is geographically wrong, politically strange, and symbolically confusing. Social media quickly turned it into a meme trend, but the joke hides something dangerous. The post demonstrates the US government's continued interest in the Danish-governed island. President Trump has now backed away from earlier threats of using force to take Greenland. Instead, he is talking about a framework that would give the United States expanded access to the island. However, Denmark's Prime Minister Mette Frederiksen says the situation remains serious and confirms talks are ongoing. She says Denmark is willing to make an agreement, but sovereignty is not negotiable. Trump says Greenland is critical for security against Russia and China. In 2019, he had tried to buy Greenland, calling it a large real estate deal. It was laughed off at the time. Now, 6 years later, it has become official US policy. Europe is pushing back hard, with markets sliding and allies furious. Trump told the Davos Forum he would not use military force, but European anger remains. Leaders say the threats crossed a red line. Greenland Prime Minister Jens Frederik Nielsen says Greenland is not Venezuela and cannot be treated as a conquest. Trump now claims a vague framework deal with NATO that gives the US what it wants. Denmark and Greenland say sovereignty is not part of any negotiation. European leaders fear US security commitments are turning into coercion. That is why the penguin meme matters. From viral mockery to Arctic power politics, Greenland has become the front line of a new global struggle, where jokes, AI images, and foreign policy now collide.
All right, viewers, that's all we could pack in this edition of Live and Breaking. Thank you so much for watching, and stay tuned, because on the other side, we get you all the details on the explosion damaging Amritsar Delhi railway line in Fatehgarh Sahib as the Loco pilot gets injured.
MDH की देगी मिर्च का तड़का, अंग अंग फड़का। MDH की देगी मिर्च। केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे, दिल झूमे देखो मतवारा हुआ रे। केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ। हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार। विमल, बोलो जुबान केसरी।
आर प्योर सूजी पास्ता उबालो मिलाओ और खाओ
8 मिनट में तैयार।
क्या टेस्ट है सबका राजा आर प्योर मसाला।
इसको घर पे लगाओगे तो शादी का तो पता नहीं, पर घर पक्का नहीं टूटेगा।
रुंगटा नहीं तो घर स्ट्रॉन्ग नहीं। रुंगटा स्टील TMT बार एकदम सॉलिड।
पहाड़ों में एक हाइकिंग स्टिक भी बन सकती है।
MDH की हल्दी मिर्ची धनिया करे कमाल। ये रंग दे, ये खुशबू दे, ये तीखा, ये कम पड़े। क्या निराला MDH मसाला। प्योर सूजी पास्ता उबालो मिलाओ और खाओ
8 मिनट में तैयार
क्या टेस्ट है सबका राजा हार्डकोर मसाला
In a major escalation between the White House and Wall Street, President Donald Trump has filed a massive lawsuit against one of the world's most powerful financial institutions. The president is suing J.P. Morgan Chase and its CEO, Jamie Dimon, seeking at least $5 billion in damages.
No, I haven't spoken. No, he debanked me. So we'll see if that beats anything, but I think it should. You shouldn't be debanked. Get debanked if you don't have money or if you fall to have this great company, and all of a sudden I was told, no, you can't do that. It's so wrong. It's so wrong. I don't know what their excuse would be. Maybe their excuse would be the regulators. I don't know. But regardless, I guess it's a good lawsuit because every pundit has come out and said Trump has a great lawsuit here. You're not allowed to do what they did. Jamie Dimon, what he did, he's not allowed to do that.
The lawsuit, filed on Thursday, January 22nd in Miami-Dade County State Court, centers on a controversial practice known as debanking. The president alleges that the bank has systematically denied services to him and his associated businesses, not because of financial risk, but due to political bias. This isn't just a dispute over a checking account.
Humans are going to work with AI. As artificial intelligence, AI becomes deeply embedded in enterprise systems, the question, of course, no longer remains whether humans will work with AI or not. It will become about how well that partnership, in fact, progresses, how is it designed in first place. And scale without harmony risks alienation, and automation without empathy risks erosion of trust. And so our next speaker meets us at this intersection. He operates from there with extensive experience in enterprise communication platforms and AI-driven customer engagement. He brings a growth-led yet human-centric perspective on how intelligence systems can amplify human capability rather than replace human capability. So please welcome Mr. Sachin Bhatia, co-founder and chief growth officer, Exotel, as he shares his perspective on human and AI harmony at scale.
Namaskar, everyone. So I graduated in 2001 from one of the IITs in computer science. And at that time, IT in India was Satyam, Wipro, Infosys, TCS, Cognizant, HCL, in short called Switch. And when I used to ask people, what companies do you respect globally? The answers should be Apple, Google, Microsoft, Adobe, IBM. IBM was respected at that time. One question that bothered me is, why is India not delivering products? And when I listened to the questions around frontier models and foundational models, the same spirit is there. So we should keep that spirit alive. And with that spirit, I start my talk. So across the last 25 years, I've observed two major technology shifts, right? I think internet and mobile would be those two shifts. And what we are witnessing is the third shift. And what we have done in the last, perhaps 1.5 decades, the question that we used to ask ourselves was, if India has all the engineers that are building everything that the Western world is imagining, why can't we build our own products? That was the thought that kept me, awake. And I thought, agar IIT se padha hu to bhuka to nahi marunga, so I should try. I should try building it myself. In the process, I'll learn why India is not building products, right? And my journey from 2003 till today has been to deliver a world-class product company out of India, and I've been at it at the same company, right? So there are some learnings that I have, and AI perhaps is impacting our space more than anything else. Okay, yeah. So last 1.5 decades, I think we have done a really, really good job at whatever has worked in the West, we bring it to India and scale. So we got taxis and make them very accessible. These days we have issues there also with cancellations, but that model has scaled well. We got an app where you can discover local hotels, and that scaled really well. We got local deliveries like crazy. We have optimized the hell out of it, 10 minutes, and it's a national debate. And it has become a hobby to order twice because you forget something. In fact, at my place, when a Blinkit order gets delivered, the first question is, kiska Blinkit aaya hai? So I think we have adopted those models in the West really well, and I use the word adopted with a little bit of confession. And it has been good because it has made the digital literacy in the country really, really move up. My dad can now use an app very, very easily, and I think these apps and these models are really great at teaching people how to use some of these tools and frameworks. It has also done something else which is good, which is we have created a large talent pool of product people in India. So now there are product UX engineers, really high-end engineers available in India, and I think that's a very, very good mix. However, the same framework must not be used for AI. And I do not say this with an ego or a pride that India has to deliver its own foundational models. I say this because India is actually very different. Okay, so we cannot copy-paste what is happening in the West into India. And the reason is not because I get emotional about it that if China has delivered a foundational model, India should also deliver it. It is because the constraints in India are very, very different. And if you don't consider constraints, usually your products become a bad fit. And we should make sure that what we deliver for India today is useful and meaningful for India. There are two spaces, and all of you would have heard of it, apart from the ChatGPT or a Gemini that all of us use as consumers, there are two spaces that are getting really disrupted. The first is AI is really getting good at coding. I don't know how many of you have used it, but I think there was a news yesterday or day before yesterday that Claude launched Claude Work, which was created in two weeks, and 100% of that was coded by AI. So I think this is one trend which is really, really, really foundational to how software would be written in the world. And the second trend is conversations, especially business to consumer conversations. And that's an area that I understand, and that's an area that I want to talk about today. World over, people believe that most of the business conversations that we do today with the bank, with the retail company, with the e-commerce company would be automated. But I believe that India there is very, very different. India is not just a very large market. It's a mix of hundreds of languages, multiple dialects. We heard the previous speakers talking about it. There are nuances, cultural nuances, that somebody who's talking to you while solving your problem has to understand. And if you don't get that right, the trust would break. So we can't copy-paste a model. We can't think of how the West is thinking. In India, we intuitively know this. We love to discuss, we love to negotiate. Most businesses run on large-scale conversations. Everything is negotiated in India. Relationships, salaries, marriages, especially marriages. And that's a nuance which is not true for a lot of other countries. It is true for some countries like Indonesia, Philippines, Malaysia. I think there are India-like countries that are there, but not true for the West. In West, everything is set framework. You don't need to talk a lot. In India, we love to talk a lot. I don't know how many of you remember that Airtel ad, "Baat karne se hi baat banti hai," right? Which encourages you to talk. So India is like that. Imagine that you were doing a bank transaction and your card got blocked. You actually need somebody to say, "Ha sir, bataiye kya ho gaya?" And that conversation should end with, "Chinta mat kariye sir, ho jayega." If you don't have that in India, the customer will not feel satisfied. You can't give them a ticket number. They don't feel satisfied, right? Whereas in the West, there is this trust that if a ticket number is given, something will happen. Here, if you don't have an assurance from somebody who's a human being, who's empathetic, it is your accountability. You have told me solve ho jayega. If that is not done, our customers don't feel satisfied, right? All of us here would feel that. if you don't have an assurance from a human being, you will not feel that my problem will be solved. A system cannot solve my problem. That's cultural. That is also because for anything to get done, we have always been made to wait. And wait because we are so many of us, right? So queues is a common thing. Okay, I'll tell you a joke. You put a queue anywhere in India, without asking what is the queue for, people will stand in the queue because something good will happen at the end of the queue. I don't know how many of you have experienced this, how many of the new generation has experienced this. But if you put a queue in India, at the end of the queue, there is a pot of gold. Something is there, some value is there, right? So I call it the trust tax, right? So in India, the cost of getting trust is that you have to wait. Sorry about the clicker. But the cost of getting trust is that you have to wait. So while the world is thinking about, can I use AI for completely replacing humans? And I'm not against bots. I think bots or agents or whatever you're going to call them are pretty good because they are very quick. They get the context. They can solve small problems. You don't have to wait. That is a failure mode in India because you can't get trust like that. And the second model is you put humans everywhere. The trust tax of waiting has to be given. So all of us are so used to your call is important to us, but all our agents are busy. That doesn't happen in the West. There are enough people staffed to answer whatever queries are coming. But in India, we have to wait for 5, 7, 15, 30 minutes. The maximum I've waited on an IVR is 30 minutes, and that's a very unique India problem. It is because the organization cannot spend more. The margins are not there. So how do you solve for this conundrum? How do you solve for this very unique problem that India has, that trust can be done only if humans are there, but you can't staff enough humans, otherwise the business model will completely falter. What if I tell you that there is a third model possible? And that is what I'm going to talk about today. Think, what is it that you want to eliminate? While the West is saying that labor cost needs to be eliminated, I think how to eliminate waiting, how to eliminate repetition. How do you eliminate the wait out of the customer? And how do you eliminate the scenario where the customer has to repeat themselves? How many times it has happened that you call a bank or a company in the morning? I'm not against banks, but banks we all call a lot. So that example comes out. But you call a bank in the morning, and you call them in the afternoon, and they appear like complete strangers. You have to repeat everything that you have done with the previous context, right? So how do we eliminate repeating, and how do we eliminate waiting? That's the framework with which we should approach the problem of automation rather than labor cost arbitrage or removal of labor cost. If we get this model right, if we get this model of making AI and humans work together where wait is eliminated, repetition is eliminated, what are some of the new roles that would come for humans? All of you are aware of air traffic control. So there is this lot of traffic happening and there is this human which is observing it. What if humans could now observe AI and train it for correctness? What if humans could now course correct wherever AI is going wrong? So you have a role called observer. You can have a role where a human can actually audit real human conversations and real bot conversations and then say, here are some of the rules that will make those conversations better. How about having people who have authority to take decisions come at the right time during the conversation and solve the customer problem rather than just asking for queries? So humans should be used where humans are valuable, where judgment is important, where trust is important. And machines can help you take context very quickly and solve simple problems. This is a new paradigm of thinking. As I said, the West is thinking about removing cost from service or removing humans. That model will not work in India because trust is required. So you bring in a human as soon as possible, but don't make them do things that a machine can do. So visualize this model that I'm talking about. I call it harmony. think of it as Vasudev Kutumbakam. When we think of the global world, we think of AI also like that. How do you bring best of AI, best of humans, and have a method by which context can be passed very quickly and pass it to humans? We call it the AI-human harmony. Okay, so the simple method to understand this. What should humans do? And what should machines do? And what should systems do? Machines, you should handle all repetition. No human should be subjected to repeating the same thing 200 times a day. By the way, if you go to a contact center today, that is what happens. Some of you would have experienced it with your friends. We have, I think, over a 10 lakh workforce in contact centers today. So machines should handle repetitions. Machines should get context very, very quickly. You should no longer be required to say, press 1, press 2, press your patience. You should just say what you want, and a machine should be able to understand it very quickly and pass it on to a human. Machine should also be able to do simple resolutions. If it's just about blocking a card, it can be done very quickly. But if it's about understanding your loan and giving you a plan, a human being is required to, because there is trust, empathy, risk that is to be handled there. And what should humans do? Humans should handle emotions, empathy, exceptions, judgments. And what should systems do? As context moves from humans to machines, they should be able to do like a relay race baton pass. There should be no friction in what was told to the machine and what is understood by the human. If we get this right, ladies and gentlemen, while the world is thinking about how AI will replace jobs, if India is able to figure out, especially in this very large space of conversational economy, how humans and AI will coexist and what systems, frameworks, models would enable this to happen, I see this to be an opportunity like no other. And one opportunity that I feel, one area where I feel proud of, where India has done really well. And it was not because it was made in India, because it solved for scale, trust. Everybody knows the UPI model, right? The UPI model came out of India, and then whole of Africa, whole of Asia just adopted it. Not because it was Indian, not because it was made in India, because it was solving problems at scale, and it was not based on credit cards. It was not based on too much greed of commissions. It was based on how can we scale something which just works and is really fast. I believe that we have a similar opportunity in the conversational commerce space, where India can export this model of AI-human harmony to the world. How Exotel thinks about it, we have been solving this problem for quite some time. AI should handle volumes, humans should handle moments in any conversation. And all conversations can be broken up into this is just transaction and this is where the crux of the matter is. So if you can bring in a human being as soon as you sense need for empathy, fear, emotion, bring in a human being to handle that conversation. Until such time, make sure that the machine has collected enough context about the customer, their problem, and what has been happening with them in the past. Lastly, we handle about 100 million conversations a day on our platform. So if any of you are interested in knowing more about this or discussing more about this, talk to us or get in touch with our team. But I will repeat and summarize once again. We should not copy-paste what the West is thinking about what AI will do to human beings. In a lot of markets, it completely makes sense to replace humans with machines because of the cost, because of the cultural nuances, because of what customers expect. In India, the problems are different. Our customers require trust. Our customers love conversations. So don't stop delivering that value. Bring in AI to handle repetitions, handle volumes, completely get rid of queues, and pass on the context to a human being as soon as possible. If we do this well, we'll not only solve for our customers, but most likely we'll give the world a model, which will be like the UPI moment for India. Thank you.
अब छोलिया हो या लोबिया, सफेद चने या काले चने,
सब कुछ मजेदार बने।
केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे, दिल झूमे देखो, मतवारा
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार। विमल, बोलो जुबान केसरी।
आर प्योर शाही पनीर मसाला, डिलीशियस, हेल्दी एवरीडे।
ये है सीक्रेट रेसिपी MDH का जीरा सिप जल जीरा मसाला। सिप सिप जीरा सिप जीरा सिप MDH का जल जीरा सिप MDH का जल जीरा सिप।
In a major escalation between the White House and Wall Street, President Donald Trump has filed a massive lawsuit against one of the world's most powerful financial institutions. The president is suing J.P. Morgan Chase and its CEO, Jamie Dimon, seeking at least $5 billion in damages.
No, I haven't stopped it. No, he debanked me. So we'll see if that beats anything, but I think it should. You shouldn't be debanking. Get debanked if you don't have money or if you fall to have this great company, and all of a sudden I was told, no, you can't do that. It's so wrong. It's so wrong. I don't know what their excuse would be. Maybe their excuse would be the regulators. I don't know. But regardless, I guess it's a good lawsuit because every pundit has come out and said Trump has a great lawsuit here. You're not allowed to do what they did. Jamie Dimon, what he did, he's not allowed to do that.
The lawsuit, filed on Thursday, January 22nd in Miami-Dade County State Court, centers on a controversial practice known as debanking. The president alleges that the bank has systematically denied services to him and his associated businesses, not because of financial risk, but due to political bias. This isn't just a dispute over a checking account. This is a high-stakes legal battle that accuses the largest bank in the United States of trade libel, bad faith, and violating state consumer protection laws. The core of the complaint is that J.P. Morgan Chase violated Florida's deceptive trade practices law. The legal team for the president argues that Florida law explicitly prohibits financial institutions from terminating accounts or denying services based on a person's political opinions, speech, or affiliations. According to the complaint reviewed by Bloomberg, Trump's lawyers state that, quote, debanking is a matter of public interest and significant importance to all consumers and businesses in the United States of America. They argue that J.P. Morgan Chase, given its history and size, is a central actor in what they call a troubling saga. This lawsuit frames this not just as a personal grievance, but as part of a broader campaign against the weaponization of the banking sector. The allegation is that financial institutions are acting as ideological gatekeepers.
Welcome back, viewers. You're watching Live and Breaking with me, Ishita Mitra. Now, viewers, a major fire broke out in a high-rise building in the Bronx area of New York after a reported gas leak. Now, more than 200 fire and emergency responders have set to rushed to the scene shortly after receiving the information as a thick smog emerged from the area. Here's a quick report on that. Take a look.
An explosion broke out in the early hours at a high-rise building in the Bronx area of the New York today. The massive fire was the result of a reported gas leak. FDNY members are reported to be operating at A4 alarm fire at 3485 Bivonia Street in the Bronx. According to sources, residents of the building were seen hanging out of their windows. Aerial photos of the building, which were released, show flames engulfing multiple floors of the high-rise. More than 200 fire and emergency crews rushed to the scene shortly after the thick smoke engulfed the area. No information about fatalities or injuries has been reported, and an investigation is currently underway.
Now, viewers, the Poonch region of Jammu and Kashmir woke up to heavy snowfall affecting normal life. Heavy snow accumulation was seen in different parts of Jammu, and this was the first time in last 1 decade that Poonch city received a heavy snowfall with accumulation up to 3 to 4 inches. Now, the heavy snowfall has disconnected the Poonch from the rest of the Jammu and Kashmir via land route. Traffic from Poonch to Mandi has to come to a halt. Watch this ground report.
Heaviest snowfall in the last 1 decade has taken place in almost all parts of Jammu and Kashmir. With the low-lying areas of Jammu also receiving the snowfall, the life has become a standstill. Right now we are reporting from the Poonch district, where the snow has covered the entire area. This is the Poonch Mandi road, where you will only see the layer of snow that has completely taken over. This is the first snowfall of the season that has taken place, and it has completely engulfed this entire area. Whether it is mountains, trees, bridges, roads or the houses, everything is under the grip of the snow that has taken place. It's for the first time in last 1 decade that the Poonch town has also received this heavy magnitude of snowfall, as the life has become standstill. The avalanche warning that has been issued by the weather department, keeping that in view, the road traffic has also been halted. The Jammu has completely been connected with the Poonch, as the Bhimbar Gully road that has also come to a standstill with the vehicles not moving to and fro. So this kind of a heavy snowfall has taken place, and after the advisory that has been issued by the weather department, the police has ensured that there is no movement of the vehicles on the road. Right now the road from where we are reporting from, this is the Poonch Mandi road, and here you will see that there is no vehicle on the road. Only we were allowed to travel to show that what kind of a situation is. Otherwise there are rarely any vehicle movement except some medical emergencies that are being allowed. And also the weather forecast say that 26 and 27 it is going to be a similar kind of a havoc that is going to take place. It is going to be a similar magnitude rainfall and snowfall that is going to take place. So the authorities have decided that the schools will also remain closed, at least for the days that the snow is taking place.
आधे बाउल दही में 4 चम्मच MDH चटनी पुदीना मसाला डाला, स्टर करो, पुदीना चटनी तैयार। MDH चटनी पुदीना मसाला। MDH।
इसको घर पे लगाओगे तो शादी का तो पता नहीं, पर घर पक्का नहीं टूटेगा।
रूंगटा नहीं तो घर स्ट्रॉन्ग नहीं। रूंगटा स्टील TMT बार एकदम सॉलिड।
पहाड़ों में एक हाइकिंग स्टिक भी बन सकती है।
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद, यही तो है इसकी खास बात। वाओ मामा, क्या स्वाद है? अरे मेरे राजा, राजा और प्योर मसाला। सीक्रेट रेसिपी MDH का जीरा सिप जल जीरा मसाला। सिप सिप जीरा सिप जीरा सिप MDH का जल जीरा सिप जीरा सिप MDH का जल जीरा सिप।
In a major escalation between the White House and Wall Street, President Donald Trump has filed a massive lawsuit against one of the world's most powerful financial institutions. The president is suing J.P. Morgan Chase and its CEO, Jamie Dimon, seeking at least $5 billion in damages.
No, I haven't gone. No, he debanked me. So we'll see if that beats anything, but I think it should. You shouldn't be debanking. Get debanked if you don't have money, or if you fall to have this great company, and all of a sudden I was told, no, you can't do that. It's so wrong. It's so wrong. I don't know what their excuse would be. Maybe their excuse would be the regulators. I don't know. But regardless, I guess it's a good lawsuit because every pundit has come out and said Trump has a great lawsuit here. You're not allowed to do what they did. Jamie Dimon, what he did, he's not allowed to do that.
The lawsuit, filed on Thursday, January 22nd in Miami-Dade County State Court, centers on a controversial practice known as debanking. The president alleges that the bank has systematically denied services to him and his associated businesses, not because of financial risk, but due to political bias. This isn't just a dispute over a checking account. This is a high-stakes legal battle that accuses the largest bank in the United States of trade libel, bad faith, and violating state consumer protection laws. The core of the complaint is that J.P. Morgan Chase violated Florida's deceptive trade practices law. The legal team for the president argues that Florida law explicitly prohibits financial institutions from
From Asia's largest news headquarters, setting the agenda for Bharat. You're watching Republic.
A very good evening, viewers. You're live and breaking, and I'm Raksha Mishra with you. And we will start this bulletin with the latest update coming in on the ICC T20 World Cup. Bangladesh has been officially booted out of the World Cup, and the official announcement will be made by ICC very, very soon that Scotland will be now entering the World Cup in place of Bangladesh. We'll get you the details first, the headlines. After Republic exposed infiltration camp in Hyderabad, Hindu group staged protests calling for deportation of illegal migrants in the state. Explosion damages Amritsar to Delhi railway line in Fatehgarh Sahib. Loco pilot injured. Another video of Noida techie Yuvraj Mehta surfaces from the site. Video shows a bystander narrating criminal negligence of the rescuers. Russia launches strikes on Kiev and Kharkiv ahead of day 2 of peace talks in Moscow. Iran warns US of an all-out war after Trump says that an armada of warships headed to West Asia. French Navy seizes oil tanker in Mediterranean sailing from Russia. Sheikh Hasina, in the first public address in exile, slams Yunus, calls him a murderous fascist. All right, so viewers, as the reports are coming in that Scotland is officially going to enter the T20 World Cup, and it is going to officially replace Bangladesh after the Bangladesh Cricket Board refused to come to India. Now, remember, this has been going on for 3 weeks now. 3 long weeks of negotiations. In fact, there's no negotiation. ICC was very much clear that there's no security threat as cited by Bangladesh for playing in India. And what we understand as per reports is that the ICC, in a written letter, in a written email sent to Bangladesh Cricket Board, has communicated that Scotland will be replacing Bangladesh. Why Scotland? It's as per the rankings. This is the breaking news we have right now. Mr. Shyam Sharma of the DDCA joins us on the broadcast for more. Mr. Sharma, well, this is Bangladesh's attempts at grandstanding and its attempts to so-called boycott has not paid any heed. It is booted out, and Scotland is against to now enter and replace Bangladesh, sir.
Yeah, it's unfortunate Bangladesh is out, and they decided to damage their cricket association just for political reasons. I mean, India is one of the safest country in the world. Look at how many cultures, how many religions we have, and unnecessarily they were making an issue. So now Scotland is there, and I think the World Cup will be a great success.
And sir, this also sets an example, because there should not be any, there should be no baseless boycott, if I can call that, because we understand that Bangladesh, just in a tit-for-tat move, because Mustafizur Rahman is dropped, and after that it starts boycotting, and even after assurances and even after ICC saying that there is no security threat that has been assessed in India. I mean, Bangladesh, in fact, could have been even penalized, isn't it?
In fact, Bangladesh falls in the trap of Pakistan.
Yes.
So whatever Pakistan was guiding them, they have decided it. And now they have gone back, I think, 10 years in cricket. Their cricket without India, I mean, do you think any country can survive in cricket today? I don't think so. So if India is not going to play any bilateral series with them, and if they are not coming to India, it's going to damage Bangladesh cricket like anything. And they will take years to revive their own cricket.
Absolutely. Many thanks, Mr. Sharma, for joining us on Republic TV viewers. So that's the big update coming in. Himanshu, my colleague, joins us live on the broadcast from the digital desk. Himanshu, well, clearly Bangladesh was given an ultimatum. It did not agree. And here we are, Scotland stands to gain. And, somebody has to lose, somebody has to gain. And Bangladesh, for all it tried to show that, it will not come, and it thought that ICC would actually give in to its unreasonable demands. Now, I think it's a wake-up call for Bangladesh and its, the friends, Pakistan also, which should not even attempt to do such a thing now.
Rakshita, their false bravado is crumbling. They have shot themselves in foot. This basically, they do not have that financial condition, you can say. Bangladesh cricket, I don't think they are doing good in terms of money. So forfeiting a ICC World T20 will have its repercussions, will not just be for this tournament, but this will also go for Bangladesh cricket as whole. So this was a political decision by Bangladesh government, you can say. Aminul Islam, the Bangladesh Cricket Board president, probably, he tried to use all the tricks in the books in ICC to probably put some technical reason and get probably Sri Lanka as their venue. But as of now, I don't think they have succeeded, and ICC have brought in Scotland. So that's the news that we are getting in right now for ICC World T20. So end of road for Bangladesh as far as ICC World T20 is concerned.
Right. Many thanks, Himanshu, for joining us with those details coming in, viewers. We will keep a track on more updates coming in. But right now, we shift our focus to the other story that we have been tracking for you. It's a call to the government to deport the illegal migrants, Rohingyas, and Bangladeshis in Hyderabad. The Hindu activists are now organizing in Hyderabad a protest Dharma Rakshana Sabha. This was based on Rohingya investigation, which exposed the camps and their illegal migration. The protest will also include condemning the death of Hindu minorities in Bangladesh. So yes, Bangladeshi news, and not for the right reasons. Again, as we do understand the issue of infiltration, illegal immigrants from Bangladesh. My colleague Aishwarya now joins us live on the broadcast for more. Aishwarya, well, the protesting groups, Hindu groups, are upping the ante, isn't it? And now this entire, this event has been organized. Tell us more details about this Dharma Rakshana Sabha.
This Dharma Rakshana Sabha is organized here in Balapur, Hyderabad, where in 300 meters the infiltrated Rohingya camps is also situated, where almost over 5,000 families of Rohingyas which have illegally immigrated to India, or to Hyderabad in specific, have been identified by the Republic, and we have also exposed how these families for over 11 seeks only one thing: the deportation of these illegal Rohingyas as well as Bangladeshis who have permanently settled here in Hyderabad in India, and they seek that this particular infiltration should stop immediately, and the government should put a full stop to this, and also whoever has immigrated, who have been infiltrated right now until now, should be deported. Something should at least they should be detained, because what they're saying is that these locals who also live in and around the Rohingya camps here say that they are eating up the opportunities that deservingly should come for these citizens here, for the locals here, but they are eating up the opportunities. They are living here and they have for over years, for decades, and then there's nothing that the government nor the NIA, nobody is doing anything, and it is posing a threat to the national security, and this infiltration is increasing. So they have organized this particular sabha to create awareness as well as appeal to the government that they should react to this. They should stop this infiltration and should put a full stop to this infiltration, as this concerns national security.
Right. That, of course, has been. If you could just tell us more details about how Republic TV had exposed this entire illegal migration that has been going on, the camps that have been going on. If you could just tell us more details, tell our viewers, because this clearly is a Republic TV report impact.
Exactly. 3 weeks or 4 weeks before, 3 to 4 weeks before, Republic entered these Rohingya camps in Balapur, which is situated in Hyderabad, and spoke to almost several camps, several Rohingyas who have settled in this camp.
Right.
And they themselves in these in the investigation confessed that they had come to India, come into Hyderabad illegally, either via trains, via bus, several means of transport. Even some even confessed that they came via forest. So these particular, when they themselves have confessed their means of transportation and how they entered India, that clearly shows the threat to national security. That clearly shows the increasing infiltration. And most of them have been residing in this particular camps for over 10 years, not or even more sometimes. So this particular infiltration has begun, growingly increasing, and that particular investigation of ours exposed so many infiltration, so many families of Rohingyas, over 5,000 families, and that is why the need to react was seen by the Hindu activists today, supported by the VHP as well. So all of these people gathered here seeking for only one thing, that is the deportation of the illegal Rohingyas and Bangladeshis who have occupied the Hyderabad.
Many thanks, Aishwarya, for joining us and giving us those live inputs. In fact, we'll just put out that report for you. How Republic TV, in fact, had uncovered the alarming settlement of the illegal Rohingya migrants in Hyderabad through an exclusive taped confession revealing networks aiding their entry, fake IDs and local support. The expose highlights the security risks, criminal activities and the political patronage, enabling over 7,000 to 10,000 Rohingyas to thrive in areas like Balapur and the outskirts.
Republic inside a Rohingya camp, not on the borders, not in an isolated land, but much deeper, inside the state of Telangana, in the heart of Hyderabad. Republic TV investigation exposes how infiltrators from Bangladesh and Myanmar are living all around us. Almost 31 camps, more than 5,000 families, and Rohingyas using our resources, 30,000 of them. In the heart of Hyderabad's old city, nothing to suspect that they don't belong here, but listen to their own admission of how they got here.
हाल बहुत बुरा है, मार दे रहा है, सब चला दिए, कुछ भी नहीं होना, दफा हो जा रहा, कलमा छोड़ो यहाँ से चली जाओ, मुसलमान मिशन नहीं रहे, मुझे तो इतना जला दे, जान से मार दिया, हजारों मिशन देते हैं। तो यहाँ कैसे आए हैं? बस से, ट्रेन से, पैदल, जंगल से, पानी का नदी से, 8 दिन 8 रोज लगता है। 2009 से।
तो आप कहाँ से?
हैदराबाद से।
हाँ, तो आप यहाँ पे डॉक्टर इन सबको?
हाँ, जनरल फिजिशियन हूँ मैं, मेरे पास पेशेंट्स आते हैं, तभी बुखार बॉडी पे, ये लोग को ईचिंग ज़्यादा है,
ये लोग कचरा वो कूड़ा चुनते हैं ना, हीटिंग ज़्यादा होती है, तो दवाई मेरे पास से लेते, आज दवाई लेते, कल परसों वो कचरा बेच के पैसे देते, पैसे का बहुत दिक्कत है, थोड़ा फाइनेंशियल हेल्प होना है तो फिर मेडिकल कैंप चलाना, एवरी मंथ एक कैंप चलाना है।
कैंप नंबर 25 में कितने
25 है।
कितने फैमिलीज रहते हैं?
40 फैमिली रहता
40 फैमिलीज रहता है। अच्छा, तो आपको आप कब आए थे और कैसे आए थे
इंडिया से? हम लोग 12-14 हो गया यहाँ।
कैसे आए थे?
हम लोग तो बॉर्डर से गाड़ी पकड़ के ट्रेन पकड़ के आए।
अच्छा,
इधर कुछ मुश्किल हो रहा है आपको, मतलब कुछ परेशानी? अभी तो मुश्किल नहीं हो रही, सब सही है, सब बराबर चल रहा है।
तो आपको कुछ
लोकल MLA सबका हेल्प मिल रहा क्या? लोकल मेरे को कुछ भी लड़ा उड़ा कुछ भी नहीं हो रही।
Though these people themselves admit that they came from outside, it still won't seem like an infiltration camp to the naked eye. Aadhaar cards, PAN cards, name any document an ordinary Indian would have, and they have it too. Taped confessions on record, proofs, and still the opposition debates over SIR in the parliament.
बर्मा में बहुत ज़्यादा लड़ाई हुआ है, इसलिए सब लोग इधर आ गया, फिर बांग्लादेश में है, इधर भी है।
कितने
12 साल भी हो रहा, 10 साल भी हो रहा, 8 साल भी हो रहा है, ऐसा लोग सब लोग इधर भी है, उधर भी है।
कितने कैंप हैं यहाँ पे?
यहाँ पे आम 9 कैंप होगा।
अच्छा, आपका क्या यहाँ पे कैसे मदद मिल रहा है आपको? क्या
कुछ भी मदद नहीं है। 9 दिन के पहले एक बार NCR का तरफ राशन मिला, थोड़ा सा चावल, 30 किलो चावल मिला, 10 किलो आटा भी मिला, और कुछ भी नहीं मिलता।
This is the camp, another camp that we are visiting here in the same area. What are their primary occupation is the ginger selling, as we could see here. This is what they do, and they are almost 13 families living here. Is what we are learning. Their kids and they sell ginger is what we are learning here for their livelihood. It is one of the many camps that I've been visiting that we are showing to our viewers in Hyderabad.
All right, viewers, now we're getting in some breaking news coming in from Jaipur. This is an accident that has been reported right now that involves the SUV Thar, and the Thar struck literally terror in the hearts of people. It's a video on camera. The hit and run is on camera. A young man was hit by a Thar SUV in Jayanti Market. Tragic death due to an out-of-control vehicle. The Jalpura police arrived promptly on the scene upon being informed as a large gathering after the accident had gathered at the site. You can see what's happening. You can see the way this Thar rammed into. That is the breaking news we have right now, and it hit a man. It's a fatal hit and run. You can see it's completely out of control. It was overspeeding, and it hit this iron structure over there, and this is caught on camera, and people around rushed to the spot. Police arrived at the spot, and a young man is hit by this out of control Thar, out of control SUV, and this happened in Jaipur's Jayanti Market, and this is the breaking news we have right now. We try and get you more details of that. And this is another hit and run case that has been caught on camera. It involves an SUV, and a young man is hit by this vehicle. A major fire broke out in a high-rise building in Bronx area of New York after a reported gas leak. More than 200 fire and emergency crews were rushed to the spot shortly after receiving this information as thick smoke emerged from the area. Here's a quick report.
An explosion broke out in the early hours at a high-rise building in the Bronx area of the New York today. The massive fire was the result of a reported gas leak. FDNY members are reported to be operating at A4 alarm fire at 3485 Bivonia Street in the Bronx. According to sources, residents of the building were seen hanging out of their windows. Aerial photos of the building which were released show flames engulfing multiple floors of the high-rise. More than 200 fire and emergency crews rushed to the scene shortly after thick smoke engulfed the area. No information about fatalities or injuries has been reported, and an investigation is currently underway.
And there's breaking news coming in, update coming in as far as the mother of all deals between European Union and India is concerned. Now, the MEA says that MEA has just announced after the EU chief's arrival in India, MEA says that it's starting the next phase of the India-EU partnership. Sources tell Republic that India-EU will be signing FTA during Ursula von der Leyen's India visit. That, of course, she announced herself. She will be signing the historic FTA on the 27th of January. This is right after Republic Day. She is one of the chief guests of this Republic Day parade. And MEA says that both India and European Union are charting the next phase of this trade partnership, next phase of India-EU partnership. And 27th is the day when the FTA, historic FTA, as it's called, the mother of all deals, will be signed. All right, viewers, shifting focus to the White House. It's a penguin meme of White House that has gone viral. The story behind this is very, very serious, though. US President Donald Trump's push to control Greenland is no longer a joke. He has now stepped back from military threats, at least now. And he's talking about a framework deal that he says gives the US some access to the island. Denmark calls the situation serious, and Greenland says that it is not for sale. And Europe is worried about what this means for NATO and global trust. Here's more.
The White House posts an AI-generated image of President Donald Trump with a penguin and Greenland in the background. It goes instantly viral. The reason for the mockery is simple. Penguins do not live in Greenland. They live in the southern hemisphere, so the image is geographically wrong, politically strange, and symbolically confusing. Social media quickly turned it into a meme trend. But the joke hides something dangerous. The post demonstrates the US government's continued interest in the Danish-governed island. President Trump has now backed away from earlier threats of using force to take Greenland. Instead, he is talking about a framework that would give the United States expanded access to the island. However, Denmark's Prime Minister Mette Frederiksen says the situation remains serious and confirms talks are ongoing. She says Denmark is willing to make an agreement, but sovereignty is not negotiable. Trump says Greenland is critical for security against Russia and China. In 2019, he had tried to buy Greenland, calling it a large real estate deal. It was laughed off at the time. Now, 6 years later, it has become official US policy. Europe is pushing back hard, with markets sliding and allies furious. Trump told the Davos Forum he would not use military force, but European anger remains. Leaders say the threats crossed a red line. Greenland Prime Minister Jens Frederik Nielsen says Greenland is not Venezuela and cannot be treated as a conquest. Trump now claims a vague framework deal with NATO that gives the US what it wants. Denmark and Greenland say sovereignty is not part of any negotiation. European leaders fear US security commitments are turning into coercion. That is why the penguin meme matters. From viral mockery to Arctic power politics, Greenland has become the front line of a new global struggle, where jokes, AI images, and foreign policy now collide.
And with that, let's take a quick check of other news from across the country. This is Bharat in 1 minute. Punjab police, in a joint operation with counterintelligence, Jalandhar busted a terror module linked to the banned outfit Babbar Khalsa International in Hoshiarpur district, arresting 4 operatives and seizing a 2.5 kilograms RDX-based IED and 2 pistols ahead of Republic Day celebrations. Heavy snowfall across Uttarakhand's high-altitude regions on Friday night left many vehicles and passengers stranded at multiple locations, prompting swift action by the State Disaster Response Force and local authorities. Teams and from the SDRF conducted coordinated rescue operations in various areas, clearing snow-blocked roads and evacuating over 100 stranded people. The Directorate of Revenue Intelligence Mumbai Zonal Unit has foiled a sophisticated gold smuggling attempt through a courier channel, intercepting a consignment containing approximately 1.815 kilograms of gold dust valued at around 289 crore rupees and arresting two suspects. Both accused were taken into custody. Further probes are underway.
प्योर सूजी पास्ता उबालो मिलाओ और खाओ 8 मिनट में तैयार क्या टेस्ट है सबका राजा हार्डकोर मसाला केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे दिल झूमे देखो मतवारा हुआ रे केसरिया से मन जोगी
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार विमल बोलो जुबान केसरी
दादी के हाथों का जादू और खुशबू से महकता घर, माँ की मुस्कुराहट और खाने की सुगंध। MDH गरम मसाला,
क्योंकि हर रिश्ता है स्वाद से जुड़ा।
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद यही तो है इसकी खास बात। वाओ मामा क्या स्वाद है अरे मेरे राजा
In a major escalation between the White House and Wall Street, President Donald Trump has filed a massive lawsuit against one of the world's most powerful financial institutions. The president is suing J.P. Morgan Chase and its CEO, Jamie Dimon, seeking at least $5 billion in damages.
No, I haven't stopped it. No, he debanked me. So we'll see if that beats anything, but I think it should. You shouldn't be debanked. Get debanked if you don't have money or if you fall to have this great company, and all of a sudden I was told, no, you can't do that. It's so wrong. It's so wrong. I don't know what their excuse would be. Maybe their excuse would be the regulators. I don't know. But regardless, I guess it's a good lawsuit because every pundit has come out and said Trump has a great lawsuit here. You're not allowed to do what they did. Jamie Dimon, what he did, he's not allowed to do that.
The lawsuit, filed on Thursday, January 22nd in Miami-Dade County State Court, centers on a controversial practice known as debanking. The president alleges that the bank has systematically denied services to him and his associated businesses, not because of financial risk, but due to political bias. This isn't just a dispute over a checking account. This is a high-stakes legal battle that accuses the largest bank in the United States of trade libel, bad faith, and violating state consumer protection laws. The core of the complaint is that J.P. Morgan Chase violated Florida's deceptive trade practices law. The legal team for the president argues that Florida law explicitly prohibits financial institutions from terminating accounts or denying services based on a person's political opinions, speech, or affiliations. According to the complaint reviewed by Bloomberg, Trump's lawyers state that, quote, debanking is a matter of public interest and significant importance to all consumers and businesses in the United States.
MDH की हल्दी मिर्ची धनिया करे कमाल, ये रंग दे, ये खुशबू दे, ये तीखा, ये कम पड़े, क्या निराला MDH मसाला।
इसको घर पे लगाओगे तो शादी का तो पता नहीं, पर घर पक्का नहीं टूटेगा।
रुंगटा नहीं तो घर स्ट्रॉन्ग नहीं। रुंगटा स्टील TMT बार एकदम सॉलिड।
पहाड़ों में एक हाइकिंग स्टिक भी बन सकती है।
Pure Shahi Paneer Masala. Delicious, healthy, every day.
In a major escalation between the White House and Wall Street, President Donald Trump has filed a massive lawsuit against one of the world's most powerful financial institutions. The president is suing J.P. Morgan Chase and its CEO, Jamie Dimon, seeking at least $5 billion in damages.
No, I haven't got it. No, he debanked me. So we'll see if that beats anything, but I think it should. You shouldn't be debanked. Get debanked if you don't have money or if you fall to have this great company, and all of a sudden I was told, no, you can't do that. It's so wrong. It's so wrong. I don't know what their excuse would be. Maybe their excuse would be the regulators. I don't know. But regardless, I guess it's a good lawsuit because every pundit has come out and said Trump has a great lawsuit here. You're not allowed to do what they did. Jamie Dimon, what he did, he's not allowed to do that.
The lawsuit, filed on Thursday, January 22nd in Miami-Dade County State Court, centers on a controversial practice known as debanking. The president alleges that the bank has systematically denied services to him and his associated businesses, not because of financial risk, but due to political bias. This isn't just a dispute over a checking account. This is a high-stakes legal battle that accuses the largest bank in the United States of trade libel, bad faith, and violating state consumer protection laws. The core of the complaint is that J.P. Morgan Chase violated Florida's deceptive trade practices law. The legal team for the president argues that Florida law explicitly prohibits financial institutions from
Hello and a very warm welcome to all our viewers of Our Estate, Building the Nation. I'm Deepthi Singh. We bring you the key movements shaping India's real estate and infrastructure landscape. From luxury to infrastructure to big-ticket deals. Here are the top stories making headlines.
Delhi NCR developer India plans to invest 3,500 crore in branded residences in Gurugram and Noida, partnering with global fashion brand Ali Saab. The signature residences by Ali Saab in Gurugram will feature 300 luxury 4-bedroom homes sized between 4,200 and 4,650 square feet. The Noida project features 200 branded residences in 3 BHK and 4 BHK layouts of 2,850 to 3,810 square feet and 480 apartments in 1 BHK and 2 BHK layouts. Prices for signature residences by Ali Saab in Gurugram start at Rs 15 crore. And in Noida, they range from Rs 9 crore to Rs 1.2 crore. An interministerial committee has approved India's first 15.8 kilometers twin-tube underwater tunnel under the Brahmaputra River in Assam. This project aims to enhance connectivity by linking Gohpur and Numaligarh. improving strategic access and regional integration for road and rail vehicles. The tunnel is part of a 33.7-kilometer project costing 18,600 crore rupees, including approach roads and railway lines. Funding will be provided by the Ministries of Road Transport and Highways, Railways and Defence. 11-acre land for 5,365 crore. Mumbai developers Sri Naman Group and Oberoi Realty are the top bidders for an 11-acre plot in Bandra East owned by Indian Railways, as reported by sources from the Rail Land Development Authority (RLDA). The winning bidder will lease the land for 99 years. The plot between the Western Railway tracks and the Western Express Highway has a reserve price of 5,365 crore rupees and is near the Bandra Kurla complex. The successful bidder must share at least 45% of the project's revenue.
With the budget around the corner, expectations from the real estate sector are building. Mr. Ashwinder R. Singh, one of the leading voices on Indian real estate, joins us now with a big story. Ashwinder ji, this budget is quite important. So what can we expect from the Finance Minister?
This budget, according to me, is a chance to unlock the middle-class dream of home ownership. Not through subsidies, but through smarter structures. Real estate doesn't ask for charity. It is asking for clarity, continuity and courage from policy. From where I stand, there are 3 focused moves that can genuinely transform the market. These are not wish list items. They are practical levers that solve real problems for both home buyers and developers. Let's break them down. Let me cover the part 1, which is the most important: relief for the genuine buyers. This is not a concession we are asking for, it's a correction. EMIs have actually doubled in the last decade, but the tax relief under Section 24 hasn't moved since 2014. We are asking to update that 2 lakh deduction to a minimum 5 lakh. It's a fair adjustment, actually not a favor. Then there's the upfront hit from stamp duty. For the first-time buyers, it comes right after a down payment and can be as high as 5 to 7%. That stalls many purchase decisions. We don't lose buyers on EMI, we lose them on the day one cash. A rebated or a graded stamp duty structure can solve that. So my request is, the EMI has moved with inflation, the tax benefits haven't. So please give those tax benefits to the end-use home buyer.
Could the Finance Minister also say something about stamp duty in this budget?
The tax credit was removed. The tax doesn't vanish, it hides. I'm talking of the input tax. The GST headline says 5%, but the real burden is higher, because developers can't claim input tax credit anymore. That means buyers end up paying a hidden tax embedded in the final price. Materials like steel, cement, labor, all are taxed. If you remove the ITC, you are not reducing tax, you are just burying it into the pricing. What we are asking here is for one GST rate with full input tax credit, especially for under construction projects, to build momentum, to give a good price benefit. Removing ITC doesn't